Welcome to this episode of Chip Finance Talking. I'm Vevi, your host. Today we are talking about a highly concerned domestic GPU enterprise, More Threads. It has just completed its I.P.O, which took only 112 days from submitting its application to registration approval, setting the fastest record for the Science and Technology Board. Its fundraising scale, technical route, financial performance, and even market disputes are highly representative. Today, we invite Mr. B, an expert in semiconductor and hard technology investment, to disassemble the logic and challenges behind More Threads' I.P.O. for us. Hello, Mr. B.
Hello, Vivi.
Let's start with the timeline. More Threads submitted its application on June 30th, passed the meeting on September 26th, and received registration approval on October 30th. The whole process is only 112 days. This is unprecedented in the history of Science and Technology Innovation Board. Mr. B, what is the core reason for this lightning meeting?
There are three core points. The first is a clear policy orientation. In 2025, the Action Plan for High-Quality Development of Computing Infrastructure of the State Council requires that the proportion of domestic AI chip procurement in 2025 should not be less than 80%, and More Threads, as the representative full functional GPU route, has strategic card value. The second is to improve the audit efficiency. The Shanghai Stock Exchange has enabled the mechanism of pre-communication plus phased inquiry for hard technology enterprises, and the second round of inquiry of More Threads has been completed in only 5 working days, reflecting its full preparation for information disclosure. The third is that the technical compliance has passed the rapid verification. Its MUSA architecture has passed the IP autonomy evaluation of the 5th Institute of Electronics of the Ministry of Industry and Information Technology, and the proportion of self-research of key modules has reached 83.6%, which meets the recognition criteria of core technological innovation of the Science and Technology Innovation Board.
When it comes to technology, the prospectus repeatedly emphasizes full functional GPU and MUSA unified architecture. What is the essential difference between this and the NPU and GPGPU routes we often hear?
The key is the ability of heterogeneous integration. NPU, such as Cambrian, focuses on AI reasoning. GPGPU, such as MUXI, focuses on general computing, while More Threads' chip integrates graphics pipeline, AI tensor core and physical simulation engine on the same silicon wafer, for example. Its Yangtze River SoC adopts unified memory architecture. CPU shares L3 cache with GPU, and data does not need to be copied across the bus. The actual measurement shows that in the Blender rendering plus stable diffusion joint task, the task switching delay is 72% lower than that of the separation scheme. This is the structural barrier that distinguishes it from similar enterprises.
But there are still gaps in performance indicators. The prospectus discloses SS5000 computing power 520 TLOPS, while NVIDIA H100 reaches 1400 TLOPS. What does this generational gap mean in practice?
It needs to be seen in different scenarios. When training a large model with 100 billion parameters, the communication bandwidth of H100 cluster is 32 TB per second. The current DDR6 memory of More Threads is only 900 gigabits per second. Data handling has become a bottleneck, and the training time of the same scale has been extended by about 2.3 times. However, in reasoning edge deployment, government cloud, and other scenarios, its cost-effective advantage is significant. The TCO of SS5000 machine cabinet is about 58% of that of H100 scheme and meets the 3-level security requirements of equal protection. At present, its Quay cluster has been deployed in 7 provincial government cloud to handle public security face recognition, medical insurance audit, and other tasks with an average response delay of less than 15 milliseconds, reaching the availability threshold.
In terms of financial performance, revenue in the first half of 2025 was 702 million yuan, of which AI products accounted for 94.85% and gross profit margin was 69.14%, much higher than 37.2% in 2024. How did that jump happen?
The main reason is the switching of product structure. In 2024 and before, the main revenue was consumption grade graphics card MTS 80, with a unit price of about 1,200 yuan and a gross profit margin of only 21%. From 2025, it will turn to a I intelligent computing cluster in an all-round way. The price of a single set of S500 cluster is 2.8 to 4.5 million yuan, and the software licensing surcharge accounts for 15% to 20%. In addition, it should be noted that its cost control optimization is obvious. In 2025, the coverage of H1 self-developed drive stack will be increased from 41% to 79%, and the outsourcing IP licensing fee will be reduced. At the same time, chiplet design is used to separate I/O die from computational die. The yield is increased from 58% to 73%, and the cost per unit computing power is reduced by 34%.
However, the loss is still as high as 271 million yuan. The prospectus predicts that 2027 will be close to break-even. Is this path credible?
We did a sensitivity analysis. Its profit model relies on three variables. First, revenue growth, assuming that the annual shipments of IA clusters will increase from 280 units in 2025 to 1,100 units in 2027, CAG at 98%, corresponding to revenue of 5.2 billion yuan. Second, gross profit margin. If HBM2E video memory integration is successful, the bandwidth is increased by 3 times, the cluster performance density is improved, the proportion of customized services with high gross profit can rise from 18% to 30%, and the overall gross profit margin is stable at more than 62%. Third, R&D cost rate minus 272% in 2024, 120% in 2026, and 95% in 2027. Under this scenario, the net profit in 2027 is about 210 million to 340 million yuan. The net interest rate is 4% to 6%, and the break-even is basically achieved. The risk point is that if the yield of domestic 7 Newton meters is less than 65%, the cost advantage will be weakened.
Customer concentration is also the focus. The largest customer contributes 56.63% of revenue. Who are the usual customers? How is sustainability assessed?
According to penetration verification, customer R is an intelligent computing center affiliated to a provincial big data group, and the order comes from the third phase of the Urban Brain project, which is a 3-year framework agreement with a commitment to purchase no less than 1.5 billion yuan from 2025 to 2027. However, we need to be alert to 2 points. First, such orders rely on the fiscal budget, and the first payment was suspended due to the review of local bonds in 2024. Second, a single customer has strong bargaining power, and a new clause of 0.5% deduction per day for performance failure is added to the contract in 2025. The company is expanding the second curve. In 2025, Q3 signed a POC agreement with ByteDance to test the TCO of S300 Edge reasoning card in short video audit scenarios. If it passes, it is expected to contribute 10% plus revenue in 2026.
Finally, look at ecology. It claims to be instruction set level CUDA compatible. And what is the actual migration effect?
Technically, PTX instruction translation is realized through binary translation layer, which is not fully native compatible. The measured migration success rate of PTorch 2.3 model is about 82%, of which CNN model is more than 95%. But the failure rate of LLM training tasks involving training graph or custom kernel is as high as 40%. In contrast, MUXI MXN series has a 91% compatibility rate through hardware instruction mapping. More Threads' strategy is soft and hard collaborative replenishment, open source Simimax cluster scheduling tool, which provides automatic kernel optimization suggestions, and the average performance loss can be compressed from 35% to 12% after developers adopt it. Ecological construction is a long-term investment. At present, GitHub star standard is 12,000, and the developer community lives 3,800 people a month. There is still an order of magnitude gap with NVIDIA's million-level ecology.
To sum up, More Threads' I.P.O. is an important milestone in the industrialization of domestic GPU. but it is far from the end. Its core value lies not in short-term profits, but in verifying the feasibility of the localization path of full functional GPU plus open ecology. Follow-up observation of 3 nodes. The results of Q1 HBM integrated chip streaming in 2026. In 2026, the orders of H2 Internet Head customers landed, and whether the proportion of software service revenue can exceed 25% in 2027. Thank you, Mr. B, for your professional interpretation.
Thank you, Vivi. Add that the real opponent of more threads may not be NVIDIA, but time, it needs to complete the technical closed loop within the triple window period of domestic advanced packaging capacity climbing, EDI toolchain maturity, and downstream application scenario outbreak. The window period is about 18 to 24 months away.